Sit back and enjoy an hour of fascinating facts you didn't know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. Have you heard of Prince Rupert's drops? It's a curious form of glass that has captured the attention of scientists and curious people for centuries. This glass drop is characterized by its transparent tadpole-like appearance. The most surprising thing about this structure is its exceptional resistance, as not even a hammer can break it. Only a bullet can destroy it, but even the bullet can shatter upon impact with the drop. If you are looking for maximum energy in the mornings, apples can be more effective than caffeine. Although caffeine is a common stimulant, its effect is temporary and can cause energy peaks and drops. In contrast, apples contain natural sugars and fiber, which will provide you with a sustained release of energy. Additionally, apples will provide you with mental clarity due to their vitamin content. Compared to adult pandas, which weigh hundreds of kilograms, baby pandas are extremely tiny, typically weighing between 90 and 130 grams. The main reason for their small size is that pandas have a bamboo-based diet, which is not very nutritious. This means that the fetuses do not receive enough nutrients to grow larger before birth. It is possible to hit an international home run. Although it is a very rare event, there are some baseball fields located near the borders between the United States, Canada, and Mexico, where if the ball is hit hard enough it could cross the border and be considered an international home run. In 1999, Bill Morgan, a man from Melbourne, Australia, won a new Toyota Corolla, valued at $30,000, by scratching a lottery ticket. 2 weeks later, a local television station invited him to recreate the moment for a recording, and surprisingly, he won the $50,000 jackpot while being filmed. This unusual event made him a media sensation, and he is known as one of the luckiest men in the world. On many commercial airplanes, row 13 does not exist, as this number is considered unlucky in Western cultures. This superstition, known as triskaidekaphobia, also affects buildings that omit the 13th floor. Although airplanes are highly functional designs, this detail reflects how cultural beliefs influence even the aviation industry to provide psychological comfort to superstitious passengers. Doctors at the General Hospital in China extracted a spoon from the esophagus of a 20-year-old patient. The most serious thing about it is that the object had been inside him for a year. As he told the media, he swallowed it during a party to impress his friends. Apparently, it shouldn't have caused him too much discomfort, as he didn't seek medical help until a year later. He went to the hospital when he began to feel very strong chest pain and difficulty breathing. This is what happens when lightning strikes an airplane. First of all, you should know that this happens very rarely, but if it were to happen, planes are prepared to withstand the impact. Nothing happens to the passengers. The plane functions like a Faraday cage, so, in short, the electrical discharge circulates on the outside of the plane and does not affect anything inside. If humans were able to hear frequencies lower than 20 Hz, we could hear our own muscles moving. One of the first known orthodontic works was found on an Egyptian mummy more than 4,000 years old. Ancient Egyptians used metal bands to align teeth, demonstrating their early interest in dental correction. Baby sea turtles agree to be born at the same time. The most developed hatchlings in the nest send signals to the rest of the eggs to accelerate their growth and develop simultaneously. This is why all the eggs hatch almost at the same time. Meet the dead leaf butterfly, known for its impressive camouflage that allows it to blend in perfectly. This camouflage is so effective that it can confuse predators, making them think it's just a leaf instead of a butterfly. The coco de mer nut is the largest nut species on the planet. Native to the islands of Praslin and Curiosities in the Seychelles, this seed can weigh up to 30 kilograms. The firepan is an Indian snack that is eaten wrapped in flames. It is a common recipe in India, but a new variant made it possible to eat it wrapped in flames. The idea originated at a food stall in Delhi when a customer claimed to have been cured of ulcers after being served one. Since then, many people have tried this curious appetizer, which has contributed to its success. In the year 2020, a bear with a box on its head was caught on a military base in Turkey as it climbed to the top of a communications tower. It is unknown how the bear got the box on its head, but fortunately, it managed to get down on its own without suffering any harm. Japan is known for its unique and creative arcade games. One of the most original is one where players must cut animals. This type of game, along with many others, can be found in Japan's numerous arcades or game centers, especially in places like Akihabara in Tokyo. This is called Unagi Travel, a travel agency for stuffed animals that was born in Tokyo. This business was started by the Japanese woman Sonoe Azuma in 2010 and, believe it or not, it is responsible for planning and carrying out tourist trips for plush friends, mainly in Tokyo and nearby cities. The cost is between $20 and $50 for a 10-day vacation. The agency even takes care of publishing photographs and videos of the activities carried out by the stuffed animals, which has attracted the attention of many people on social media. South Korea, only women give chocolates to men on Valentine's Day, unlike in other parts of the world, where the exchange of gifts is mutual. Although it is a tradition that has been disappearing, in this country, this is how women express their feelings to the men they like. However, they do not fall behind, as a month later, on March 14th, they return the gesture on a day called White Day. But the obsession with Valentine's Day is so great that on April 14th, Black Day is celebrated, where people who did not receive gifts on the previous dates gathered to eat black noodles. In 2012, a man devised an ingenious solution to avoid paying additional charges for a travel suitcase. Upon arriving at the airline counter, he was informed that his suitcase exceeded the permitted weight and he would have to pay for excess baggage. To avoid this Chinese man put on all the clothes he had in his suitcase, totaling 60 t-shirts and 9 pairs of pants. Although he looked like a sumo wrestler and seemed quite funny, the airline had no choice but to let him pass without charging him extra fees. Scientists at the University of Illinois have discovered that birds use hair from live mammals to build nests that provide a safe environment for their young. This behavior ensures that nests are warm places for eggs before hatching. Generally, birds obtain hair when mammals are asleep. What is surprising to scientists is that the animals do not seem bothered by this behavior. Tsar Peter the Great imposed a beard tax in 1698 as part of his efforts to westernize Russia. Men who wanted to keep their beards had to pay a fee and carry a copper token as proof that they had paid the tax. Those who did not pay faced the possibility of having their beard forcibly shaved. You should not try to suck the venom out of a snakebite with your mouth, as this can introduce bacteria into the wound and worsen the situation. Suction does not remove the venom, as it is quickly absorbed into the bloodstream. What you should do immediately is clean the wound with soap and water, keep the affected limb elevated and still to reduce blood flow to the area, and do not apply ice or a tourniquet, as the venom can accumulate in a specific area and cause greater localized damage. In the 1980 elections, the citizens of Rio de Janeiro were so fed up with politicians that they decided to cast their vote for a chimpanzee from a local zoo named Tiao. This friendly primate received more than 400,000 votes. It seems voters thought a chimpanzee could do a better job than the politicians in office. This is the most expensive mass-produced toilet paper in history. An 8-roll pack sells online for about $90. It is produced by the Japanese brand Haneshu. It uses wood fiber pulp exported from Canada and treats it with water from the Yodo River, which is considered the 4th purest river in Japan. All rolls are inspected by the company president, who verifies their quality. Finally, each roll is decorated by an artisan from the design department. The eyes of Budapest tumbler pigeons are huge. They look like they are straight out of a cartoon. These birds are known for their peculiar appearance, which makes them an unusual sight. This lamppost in the city of Wrocław, Poland, has been overgrown by a climbing plant. It has become quite an attraction at night, as its appearance looks like a ghost illuminated by the lamppost's light, creating a stunning visual effect that attracts tourists and locals alike. To know how many hours of daylight are left in the day, you just need to extend your hand towards the sun and count how many fingers are between the sun and the horizon. 1 finger equals 15 minutes. This is Matty Benedetto's crazy new invention, a nut cooler, as he calls it. It connects directly to the air conditioning vent, and a hose carries the cool air to his private parts. It doesn't sound so crazy on hot summer days. Hitesh Patel creates dance routines with his hands and feet. His level of coordination is truly amazing. What you see on screen is the Toyota e-broom, an electric broom like Harry Potter's that serves for skating. The popular brand Toyota presented this impressive electric vehicle at the Tokyo Motor Show 2019. The creation is inspired by Harry Potter's Nimbus 2001. It works thanks to the broom, which acts as a motor that propels the skateboard's wheels for movement. This fun vehicle can reach a speed of 30 kilometers per hour. The Great Sphinx of Giza has a tail. If you observe the Sphinx from its rear, you can clearly see the tail tucked to its right side. The smallest flag on the planet is carved into a Canadian 1-cent coin. This tiny flag measures approximately 1/100th of the circumference of a human hair and was created using advanced nanotechnology techniques. Pandas are known for being clumsy and are frequently seen falling from branches or rolling downhill in videos. However, due to their build and their being accustomed to these falls, they generally don't get hurt. This is the world's stinkiest plant, known as the giant arum or bunga bangkai. It can reach up to 2.7 meters in height and weigh over 120 kilograms. It is native to the tropical forests of Indonesia and, in addition to its incredible size, has a fetid smell of rotting flesh, which is why it is also known as the corpse flower. The purpose of this unpleasant odor is to attract insect pollinators, such as carrion beetles and flies that aid in the plant's reproduction. Meryl Streep has been nominated for an Oscar 21 times, making her the most nominated actress in the history of the Academy Awards. She has been nominated 17 times in the Best Actress category and 4 times in the Best Supporting Actress category, winning 3 awards throughout her career. Cleopatra, the last queen of the Ptolemaic dynasty, is renowned for her intelligence and linguistic skills. She ascended to the throne at 17 years old and spoke at least 9 languages, including Greek, Egyptian, Aramaic, Syrian, Median, Parthian, Hebrew, Ethiopian, and Arabic. Furthermore, she was the first of her dynasty to learn the Egyptian language, which allowed her to communicate directly with her people. Cleopatra also received an exceptional education in various disciplines. Her knowledge and skills made her one of the most prepared women of her time. The blue whale is the loudest animal on the planet. Its calls can reach up to 188 decibels, louder than a jet plane taking off. These low-frequency calls can travel up to 1,600 kilometers underwater, allowing for long-distance communication between whales. The United States experiences the highest number of tornadoes in the world, with an average of 80,000 to 100,000 tornadoes per year. The region known as Tornado Alley is particularly prone to these phenomena due to the combination of warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, cold air from the Arctic, and dry air from the Rocky Mountains. This mix of air masses creates ideal conditions for the formation of supercells, which are the most powerful and destructive storms. There is a store in the state of Alabama that sells lost, unclaimed luggage. It is called Unclaimed Baggage and sells abandoned items at airports that have never been claimed by their owners. Josh Weinstein, former writer and producer for The Simpsons, has shared on his social media a style guide they use to draw the characters. It includes rules and examples of how to draw expressions, smiles, and hair. In this case, Lisa's. This carnivorous plant called Drosera stolonifera simulates having dewdrops on its leaves to attract insects. When an insect lands on its leaves, the plant traps it and feeds on it, using digestive enzymes to break it down and absorb nutrients. This strategy is a fascinating adaptation that allows it to survive in nutrient-poor soils. The snoring of hippos can be heard several kilometers away. Hippos are known for their powerful roars and snores that can be heard over long distances. These sounds are part of their communication behavior and can indicate territoriality, warning, or attraction. What you see now is known as the Las Vegas Convention Center Loop, a tunnel project where Tesla cars will travel at low speed. The vehicles will move at about 56 kilometers per hour. Its construction cost $48.7 million. It is about 2.7 kilometers long, is 12 meters underground, and has 5 stops. Its objective is to decongest city traffic. In addition, passengers can get into the car and enjoy a quiet ride beneath the city through narrow LED-lit tunnels and a complete 5G infrastructure to allow the vehicle to always be connected. What you see on screen is a flying car with a very futuristic design. It is the Air Car, manufactured by Klein Vision in Slovakia. It has retractable wings and a tail, plus a steel hull that gives it the appearance of a vehicle from the future. It made its first flight in June 2021, reaching a maximum altitude of about 2,500 meters. In addition, it can also function as a terrestrial car, which makes it extremely practical. In April 2024, 34 years passed since the launch of the Hubble Space Telescope into orbit. During its long mission, Hubble has revolutionized our view of the universe and has made some of the most innovative discoveries in 21st century astronomy. These are some images captured over the years by this impressive telescope. At first glance, it looks like a normal bicycle, but inside it hides a small electric motor. The new HPS Domestique is the lightest electric bike in the world, weighing only 8 kilograms. It is a creation of the HPS brand based in Monaco, and its cost is not exactly cheap. The motor is hidden in the bike's seat tube. The battery, disguised in a water bottle, has a capacity of 193 watt-hours and promises up to 3 hours of mobility. NASA has carried out multiple successful lunar missions, in addition to Apollo 11. However, not all subsequent missions had the same level of success due to a variety of factors that may include budgetary constraints, technical problems, changes in exploration priorities, and inherent risks of space exploration. The Goliath tarantula is the largest tarantula species in the world. This arachnid, which can reach up to 30 centimeters in leg span, is capable of hunting and feeding on prey such as small birds, mice, and lizards. Although its main diet consists of insects and other small animals, its size and strength allow it to capture larger prey when necessary, making it a formidable predator in its natural habitat, including the tropical rainforests of South America. Despite being known as the 100 Years' War, which pitted France and England against each other, it lasted 116 years and was marked by emblematic battles such as Crécy and Agincourt. This conflict also generated significant changes in medieval society and strengthened national identity in both countries. What you see are underwater photos without water. This curious innovation was carried out by a group of researchers who created an algorithm called see-through. This technology removes water from underwater photographs, significantly improving their clarity. See-through eliminates unwanted tones, leaving a new photograph with a resolution similar to that of a normal landscape, but with the underwater elements. The human skeleton regenerates every 10 years. It is a process that takes place throughout life and slows down with old age. In our body, there are 35 million basic multicellular units, and every year between 3 and 4 million are activated. For this reason, the bone structure is completely renewed in a decade. On the one hand, the deteriorated parts of our skeleton are destroyed, and on the other, new tissue is created. The first known and documented language is Sumerian, which emerged in Mesopotamia around 3100 BC. Although not used in daily life, it has survived in texts and academic studies. However, Tamil, at over 2,000 years old, is the oldest language still actively used. Originating in southern India, it remains the mother tongue of millions, preserving a rich literary and cultural tradition. In the 18th century, a Russian woman gave birth to 69 children throughout her life. Although this story sounds improbable, a monastery in Moscow has records of a peasant woman who had 69 children between the year 1735 and 1765. 16 sets of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets were born, divided into 27 different deliveries. If true, it is a record for the woman who has given birth to the most children in history, reflecting the living conditions and health of women at that time. The boomslang or Cape tree snake is one of the most lethal snakes in the world. Its potent venom is capable of coagulating your blood in a matter of minutes, followed by internal hemorrhages so severe that you will bleed from every hole in your body. It would be a slow and very painful death. The boomslang has enough venom to kill a person in a matter of hours, which makes it one of the most feared snakes in Africa, and its sighting generates great concern among locals. Ants do not have lungs like other animals. Instead, they get oxygen through small holes in their body called spiracles, which are connected to a system of tubes called the tracheal system that distributes oxygen to all the cells in the body. In this video, filmed in 1896, you can see Eugen Sandow, considered the father of modern bodybuilding. He was one of the first to commercialize exercise equipment 125 years ago. Artificial intelligence has learned to pray. This is The Prayer, a robot that creates religious texts and prayers out of thin air. The project was made to show the world how advanced this technology is, and has generated a debate about the role of artificial intelligence in spirituality and human creativity. This subway passes through a residential building. It is located in China. Normally, a station like this would have been built on the mountains surrounding the housing blocks, but it would have been more expensive and construction would have taken much longer. This is why the engineers had this unconventional idea. Historically, the appendix has been believed to have little purpose within the body. However, recent studies have shown that it plays an important role in the human body's immune system, protecting it against possible threats. In addition, the appendix acts as a kind of reservoir of beneficial bacteria for the intestine, which is especially useful after an illness or after undergoing antibiotic therapy. These impressive illusions made with body paint are works by the German artist Johannes Stutter. She uses the model's bodies as living canvases to make her pieces breathe and have movement. Her technique takes advantage of the natural forms of human anatomy to create the details of her paintings of animals, objects, and wonderful scenes. Kefir is a Maine Coon cat, known for being one of the largest cats in the world. He was adopted by a Russian woman when he was a kitten and has grown larger than expected. At just 2 years old, Kefir weighs over 12 kilograms and measures over 1 meter 50 centimeters. Nico was the longest living silverback gorilla in the world. He was born in 1961 and died in 2018 at the age of 56. He lived so long that his fur turned completely silver. During his life, Nico became a conservation ambassador, helping to educate the public about the protection of his species. It is estimated that there are around 350,000 different species of beetles described and catalogued by scientists, although it is believed that the total number could be much higher, possibly between 5 and 30 million species. This cargo ship called Samratulangi was known worldwide as the Ghost Ship. The reason for this is that it had been last seen in June 2009 and was discovered in September 2018, stranded on a beach in Myanmar without a crew. However, there was nothing ghostly about this shipwreck. After 2 days of investigation, the police found 2 broken tow cables. This was because the ship was being towed towards Bangladesh, but was abandoned to its fate due to bad weather. Brad Pitt was blacklisted in China for several years. In 1997, he starred in the movie 7 Years in Tibet, which portrayed China in an unfavorable light and showed the Chinese army negatively. As a result, the Chinese government banned his entry into the country from 1997 to 2014. In 1745, a woman named Hannah Snell joined the British Army disguised as a man. She managed to keep her gender a secret despite receiving 500 lashes and a gunshot wound to the groin. After her service, she revealed her identity and, like the rest of her male comrades, received a military pension. Spiders produce webs from specialized glands located in their abdomen. These glands secrete liquid proteins that solidify upon contact with air, forming silk strands. Spiders manipulate these strands using their legs to weave complex webs that they use to catch prey, build shelters, or create egg sacs. In the United States, although English is the dominant language, it is not the only official language. Due to the country's cultural diversity, Spanish is the second most spoken language and is very influential, especially in states with significant Latino populations such as California, Texas, and Florida. Additionally, due to immigration and globalization, a wide variety of languages are spoken throughout the country, including Chinese, French, German, and more, completing a list of over 350 languages. In the 1912 Olympic Games, Japanese marathon runner Shizo Kanekuri abandoned the competition and returned home without telling anyone. As a result, he was considered a missing person in Sweden for years. Finally, in 1966, he was invited to finish his race, completing it in 54 years, 8 months, and 6 days. This remains the longest time anyone has taken to complete a marathon. Rafael Suno Briti, a man from Brazil, set a world record by walking on a rope tied between 2 hot air balloons. The walk was performed at an altitude of almost 2 kilometers, which is more than twice the height of the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. As you watch this video, there are about 2,000 thunderstorms developing in different parts of the world. Adidas was founded by Adolf Dassler in 1949 in Germany. The famous rivalry between Adidas and Puma has family roots, as Puma was founded by Adolf's older brother, Rudolf Dassler, after the two had a falling out. Before the split, both brothers ran a shoe company together called Gebrüder Dassler Schuhfabrik, which produced the shoes worn by Olympic athletes, including Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympic Games. After their separation, each created their own brand, leading to the historical rivalry between Adidas and Puma. Japan's hot and bloody pond is one of the most interesting places that exist. It is located on the island of Beppu, and its striking reddish color is due to the high concentration of iron oxide in its waters. In addition, the temperature of these waters is quite high and varies from 50 to 90 degrees Celsius. Because of this characteristic, it is forbidden to submerge even a foot in this small pond. Jumping spiders, specifically the species Toxius magnus, produce a nutritious liquid similar to milk to feed their offspring. This liquid contains almost 4 times more protein than cow's milk and is essential for the survival of the offspring until they can feed themselves. Circus Roncalli, a German circus, has replaced live animals with 3D holograms. This innovative approach allows them to offer cruelty-free shows, using holographic projections that create a unique and magical experience for the audience. The Starbucks logo, with a 2-tailed mermaid, is inspired by a 15th-century woodcut. The company's name also originates from Melville's novel Moby Dick, specifically from the character of Starbuck, the first mate of the Pequod ship. The MorphBot, also known as the Multimodal Mobility MorphBot, is an animal-inspired robot that can move both on land and in the air. This robot can transform its joints into wheels, propellers, legs, and hands, allowing it to move in various environments. HP was founded in 1939 by Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard in a garage in Palo Alto, California, often considered the Silicon Valley garage. The company's first product was an audio oscillator that was sold to Walt Disney for use in the film Fantasia. This garage has become a symbol of entrepreneurial spirit and technology. HP was one of the first companies to develop the concept of collaborative work, promoting a work environment where employees could share ideas and projects. All the cars you've seen came to life from a piece of clay. No matter how much time passes or how much technology advances, car brands still create their designs from a full-size model to see how they will look in real life. They use a wooden and foam frame where they sculpt the car's shape with clay. It's a very expensive craft, and making this model can cost thousands of dollars. This is the statue of Qin Hui, a corrupt politician from the 12th century, considered a traitor by the people. Because of this, statues of his family have been cursed, spat upon, and vandalized for centuries. The Pink Lake, locally known as Lac Rose, is located north of the Senegalese peninsula of Cape Verde, in the northeast of the African country. The adjective pink comes from the color of its waters, which become especially pinkish during the dry season. This is due to an algae called Dunaliella salina, which produces a red pigment to absorb sunlight. The high level of salinity allows people to float easily, just like in the Dead Sea. Leonardo da Vinci noted all his notes in mirror writing, that is backward, so that they could only be read with a mirror. However, when writing letters to others, he wrote them conventionally. Furthermore, many scholars believe that Leonardo da Vinci exhibited characteristics of dyslexia, such as his erratic handwriting and his tendency to leave projects incomplete. Kinkakuji Temple, also known as the Golden Pavilion, is a Buddhist temple located in Kyoto, Japan. This temple is famous for being covered in gold leaf, which gives it its distinctive golden shimmer. Hong Kong has more skyscrapers than any other city in the world, with approximately 558. These skyscrapers not only house offices, but also residences, hotels, and shopping centers. According to a study conducted by Newcastle University in the United Kingdom, an average person ingests approximately 5 grams of microplastics every week, which is equivalent to the weight of a credit card. These microplastics are found in our food and drink due to environmental contamination. The island of Santorini in Greece is known for its stunning views, black sand beaches, and white villages with blue domes. These characteristics are the result of an ancient volcanic eruption that occurred around 1600 BC. The city with the highest concentration of Rolls-Royce vehicles is Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. With its enormous oil wealth and a culture of luxury and ostentation, Dubai has attracted a large number of luxury cars, including Rolls-Royces, which are status symbols. Migratory birds use an incredible combination to find their way. They orient themselves using the sun, the stars, and Earth's magnetic field. They also recognize landscape features and sniff their surroundings to adjust their route. It's as if they have a natural built-in GPS and an internal compass, allowing them to make epic journeys across continents with astonishing precision. Dolphins shed their skin approximately every 2 hours. This constant renewal helps keep their skin smooth and shiny, which is crucial for their excellent aerodynamics. In comparison, humans also shed the top layer of our skin, but dolphins do so about 9 times faster. Meet the wonderpuss octopus. It inhabits shallow waters of Indonesia, the Philippines, and Vanuatu. Its elongated eyes are characteristic of this species. Part of its name comes from the German word wunderbar, which means marvel. This octopus has the ability to mimic other marine animals to camouflage itself, and its body patterns become more complex as it ages. In South Sulawesi, Indonesia, the oldest figurative cave art was discovered, a painting of a wild pig and 3 human figures at least 51,200 years old. This find, made by Australian and Indonesian scientists, predates the oldest known cave art by 5,000 years and pushes back the moment when modern humans demonstrated creative thinking. Mountain goats are known for their agility and ability to climb steep cliffs and rocky terrain. They can climb thanks to the elastic pads on their hooves that provide traction and allow them to cling to irregular surfaces, and their excellent balance that enables them to move confidently on difficult terrain. The hairy frogfish or Antennaria striatus is one of the most effective predators in the ocean. Its bite is extremely fast, allowing it to catch its prey in less than a blink of an eye. In addition, its skin has camouflage that resembles reefs and corals, making it almost invisible to fish swimming nearby. Cruise ships become so large that when they pass by beaches or shores, they can create mini tsunamis. This is due to the amount of water they displace when navigating, which then returns to its original position, but with great force. To give you an idea, cruise ships can measure up to 350 meters long, 50 meters high, and weigh about 170,000 tons. The Karlstrat is an amazing diving vessel that can clean the seabed. This ship has a bell that descends to the seabed, creating a capsule and using an overpressure system to dry the bottom, allowing workers to walk underwater. This work is done in the Netherlands to keep rivers clean. Although it may seem like a simple job, workers face very difficult conditions, including the use of compressed air and enduring extreme temperatures, both the scorching heat of summer and the freezing cold of winter. The process of manufacturing car mats generally includes heating and inflating a plastic sheet, placing it over a mold, and then vacuuming the air to shape it. Tarot is a set of cards used since the Middle Ages for divination, meditation, and self-knowledge. Its origin is uncertain, but some historians link it to ancient systems of esoteric symbolism and to 15th-century European card games. FedEx, founded in 1971 by Frederick Smith, began with an innovative idea to deliver packages overnight through its own airline network. However, in the early years, the company was on the verge of bankruptcy. At a critical moment, Smith made a risky decision. He used the last $5,000 of the company to fly to Las Vegas and play blackjack. Incredibly, he won $27,000, which allowed FedEx to cover operating costs for another week, giving it enough time to secure new funding. This gamble, which literally saved the company, is an example of how perseverance and audacity can change the course of a business. The Azerbaijan mud volcano. The country is home to approximately half of the world's mud volcanoes. These volcanoes are colder than lava volcanoes and erupt with a mixture of water and minerals, which can be spectacular yet less destructive than a typical lava eruption. They are geologically important because they emit gases like methane and can form temporary islands. The GPS was originally developed by the United States Department of Defense for military use. It was made available to the public in 1983 after a Korean passenger plane was accidentally shot down after straying off course. Today, GPS is an indispensable tool in navigation, allowing users worldwide to find precise locations with a margin of error of only a few meters. This was Smokey, a hero dog during World War II. Found during the clashes in New Guinea in 1944, she fell into the hands of Captain William Wynne, whom she accompanied for 2 years on all his dangerous missions. The dog survived 150 air attacks and once saved 250 crew members by completing a mission that only someone her size could perform, carrying a telegraph line to an airfield through a pipe. This is how they filmed this incredible scene for the John Wick 3 movie, using advanced CGI and chroma key techniques. Observe how people dressed in green suits move the motorcycles and the set. Donald Trump, known for his successful business career before entering politics, became the President of the United States with one of the highest net worths upon taking office. According to Forbes, his net worth was $3.1 billion in January 2017. The axolotl, an amphibian endemic to Mexico, is known for its impressive regenerative capacity. It can regenerate not only limbs, but also internal organs such as the heart, brain, and spinal cord. This ability has made the axolotl an object of interest in regenerative medicine research, as understanding its mechanisms could have applications in medical treatments for humans. The International Space Station has internet access, though not in the same way as on Earth. It uses a satellite connection that offers limited web access and is primarily used for communications and scientific data transfer. Due to limited transmission speed and the priority of scientific communications, access is restricted and controlled. A company in Singapore called Out of the Box launched 2 lines of drinks called Anything and Whatever. Each can could have a different flavor, and the real mystery was that you wouldn't know which one you were getting until you tasted it. The Pallas's cat, also known as the Mantle, is one of the oldest wild felines in existence. This curious cat is distinguished by its dense, rounded fur that gives it a unique appearance. One of its most striking habits is how it steps on its own tail to prevent its paws from getting cold in the snow. This behavior is especially useful in its natural habitat, which spans the steppes and mountains of Central Asia, where temperatures can be extremely low. This fish is a climbing gourami. also known as a climbing perch. It has the ability to walk and breathe out of water. It possesses a special organ known as the labyrinth organ, which allows it to take oxygen directly from the air instead of from the water. It is estimated that it can spend up to 6 days out of water. The myth that there is a dark side of the moon is incorrect. In reality, the moon is in synchronous rotation with Earth, which means it always shows the same face towards our planet. This does not imply that one side is perpetually in darkness, as the moon experiences days and nights just like Earth. So in reality, there is no perpetual dark side, but a side that is simply not visible from Earth at certain times. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge is a civil engineering project consisting of a series of 55-kilometer bridges and tunnels that connect Hong Kong with Macau and Zhuhai, the three main cities of China's Pearl River Delta. The total length of the bridge and tunnel is 55 kilometers. The main bridge measures 30 kilometers, and the tunnel measures 6.7 kilometers to allow the passage of vessels. Its construction began in 2009, taking about 8 years. The ankle trackers that people on house arrest have to wear were inspired by a 1977 Spider-Man comic, where a supervillain puts a radar on Spider-Man's arm. Falcon heads are exceptionally precise in stabilization. This adaptation is essential for their hunting strategy, as they must keep their heads still while moving at high speeds through winds without losing sight of their prey. In addition, they have small sensors in their eyes that detect movement, contributing to their keen perception and allowing them to precisely calculate the moment of attack. The Amazon River has more than 3,000 known fish species. It is the river with the greatest diversity of fish in the world, and it is believed that many more species are yet to be discovered in its waters. Here we can find the famous electric eel, or the curious longfish called candiru. The stomach is one of the most elastic organs and can expand significantly. When empty, it has a volume of approximately 50 milliliters, but it can dilate to a volume of 4 liters when full of food. If a greater amount than this is ingested, the person may end up vomiting. If you feel the urge to go to the bathroom at night or in the early morning and you do not want to turn on the light or open your eyes, this toilet accessory will be very useful. It is a sensor that detects movement and turns on a soft light when it detects someone entering the bathroom. This light illuminates the entire rim of the toilet. The model has different lighting tones and can be placed anywhere on the toilet. It works with AAA batteries. Meet Emma Gibson, the embryo that was frozen in 1992 and born in 2017 after 25 years, being the embryo that has been frozen and took the longest to be born as a baby. The procedure to make it possible involves extracting eggs from the ovaries, fertilizing them, letting them grow, and then freezing them. The embryos are placed in a solution that protects them from damage caused by ice crystals, and once thawed, the embryo can be implanted in a woman. A study revealed that people prefer to interact with robots that have feminine characteristics, such as a soft voice, rather than those with masculine characteristics. This trend has been observed in hotels where robotic staff attend to guests. Observe the peculiar shape of this island. It is called Cleft Island and is located in Victoria, Australia. It is also known as Skull Rock. Its name is due to the fact that currents carved a kind of cavern through a long geological process, creating an opening approximately 130 meters wide and 60 meters high. The island is made of granite and is part of the Answer Island group southwest of Wilson's Promontory. Human bone is incredibly strong and can support a significant amount of weight. 1 cubic centimeter of human bone can support the weight of approximately 5 pickup trucks and is 4 times stronger than concrete. Radiation can cause a wide range of adverse effects in humans, including skin burns, genetic damage, increased cancer risk, hematological disorders, eye diseases, tissue damage, and acute effects such as nausea, vomiting, and fatigue. The effects depend on the dose of radiation received, the duration of exposure, and the type of radiation. Every year, in different parts of the world, the Rubber Duck Derby is held. People pay a certain amount of money for a duck with a number. A boat pushes the ducks with a hose through a channel. The first one to reach here wins. If your duck wins, you receive a prize such as a car or cash. The proceeds are donated to charities. This is how chocolate-covered ice pops are made. First, nuts are added to the hot chocolate mixture. Then the ice pops are dipped into the mixture and left to hang to remove excess and ensure they freeze correctly. This is how earth is extracted at 35 meters deep in a construction site in downtown Vancouver using telescopic machinery. This technology allows reaching great depths and moving large amounts of earth efficiently. The transit of Venus is a rare astronomical phenomenon in which the planet Venus passes directly between Earth and the Sun, appearing as a small black dot moving across the solar surface. What you see on your screen are the stingers of hundreds of mosquitoes trying to bite this person's finger through the mesh. Mythical Rocket, a 16-year-old, has set the unofficial record for typing the most words in 1 minute, reaching 305 words per minute. This is significantly faster than what most people can read. Hanami is a Japanese tradition that means flower viewing and refers to observing cherry blossoms during spring. Generally, the sakura season runs from late March to early May. During this time, people gather in parks and gardens to picnic under the cherry blossoms and celebrate the arrival of spring. During the filming of the movie Now You See Me, Isla Fisher almost drowned while shooting a scene in which her character was chained and submerged in a water tank. The magnetic quick-release handcuffs did not work correctly, and the chain between her legs got stuck. Fisher mentioned that the crew did not realize immediately, as they thought she was giving an impressive performance. In the Hessdalen Valley, Norway, unusual lights have been observed floating in the sky. These lights appear irregularly and have been the subject of scientific studies since the 1980s. Although several theories have been proposed, such as the combustion of mining dust and radon decomposition, the phenomenon is still not fully understood. Blobbing, also known as blob jump, is a water sport that has gained popularity in recent years. It consists of one person sitting on the end of a giant air mattress, while 1 or 2 people jump on the other end, catapulting them upon landing in the water. The moon exerts a great influence on Earth in various aspects. For example, its gravity prevents Earth from wobbling excessively on its axis, which helps maintain a stable climate and is responsible for creating ocean tides. Additionally, the moon acts as a protective shield, as its mass attracts meteorites and part of the sun's radiation. The lunar phases also have a positive effect on some animals. Scientists can listen to stars using asteroseismology techniques that study oscillations caused by sound waves moving through the stars. These vibrations offer clues about the composition and internal structure of stars, similar to how seismologists study earthquakes to learn about Earth's interior. After the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, several members of the excavation team died under mysterious circumstances, fueling the legend of the pharaoh's curse. This belief suggested that anyone who disturbed a pharaoh's eternal rest would face severe consequences. Rowan Atkinson, famous for his role as Mr. Bean, studied electrical engineering at Newcastle University before dedicating himself entirely to acting. He then continued his education at Oxford University, where he earned a Master of Science degree. This is Tropical Islands, the largest indoor water park in the world, located in a former hangar that was the largest airport in East Germany. This impressive park features a 10,000 square meter artificial jungle that houses some 600 plant species, an exotic butterfly house, a white sand beach, and many other unique attractions. Vancouver Island in Canada is one of the few regions in the world where Kermode bears, also known as spirit bears, can be found. These bears, a subspecies of the American black bear, primarily inhabit the humid forests of northwestern Canada. Getting red eyes in photos is something everyone wants to avoid. However, if your pupils appear white in an image, this could be a sign of serious diseases such as cataracts, retinal disorders, or even eye cancer. Therefore, beyond aesthetic concerns, photos can play an important role in the early detection of eye problems. This is Angelica Protodiakonova, a woman with unusually huge eyebrows. She's a quite famous Russian fashion blogger in her country. This girl started wearing this peculiar style after a woman took an unsolicited photo of her to upload to social media and mock her thick eyebrows. This young woman was greatly shamed, so she decided to mock the offensive comments by doing her makeup with much larger eyebrows. This way of facing the situation made her a fashion icon. William Shakespeare, in addition to being one of the most recognized writers of all time, was also a businessman. He used to buy large quantities of seeds, grains, and cereals, and then sell them at high prices when there was scarcity, but he stopped when the government found out and prohibited him. Yellowstone National Park is the world's first national park, established in 1872. Located in the United States, it was the first national park to be designated in the world. It is famous for its geysers, hot springs, and a wide diversity of wildlife, including bison, bears, and wolves. Yellowstone also harbors unique ecosystems and is an important tourist destination. The planet Neptune has the strongest winds in the solar system. It was discovered that it can have gusts of up to 2,000 kilometers per hour, making it a hostile and fascinating place for astronomical research. In Colorado, United States, the Garden of the Gods is a public park known for its impressive red sandstone rock formations. These natural structures, some of which have names like Tower of Babel and camels, offer a spectacular landscape and opportunities for climbing and hiking. Ancient Polynesians were extraordinary navigators and explorers who spread across the vast Pacific Ocean. Using the stars, wind patterns, and ocean currents, they managed to colonize remote islands like Hawaii, New Zealand, and Easter Island. Medieval armors were not as useful as they appear in movies. According to a 2011 study, medieval warriors may have lost many battles due to how uncomfortable these armors were. Tests were conducted, and the results showed that the suit consumes more energy and tires the person very quickly, as these armors normally weighed between 30 and 50 kilograms. Meet the Visayan warty pig, or Visayan wild pig. It lives in grasslands, savannas, and forests of the Visayan Islands in the Philippines. It is named for its facial warts, which can grow up to 15 centimeters. It has a black to brown mane that runs down its spine to the middle of its back. Because its fur is sparse and it has no subcutaneous fat, the wild pig is susceptible to extreme ambient temperatures, so it must cool itself with mud baths in hot weather and cover itself as much as possible in cold weather. In about 4 billion years, our Milky Way is expected to collide with the Andromeda Galaxy, a cosmic event that astronomers have predicted. Although it sounds terrifying, astronomical distances are immense, so the collision will not involve stars directly colliding. Instead, the galaxies will gradually merge due to gravitational forces. This will result in a new galaxy called Milkomeda, in which the Milky Way and Andromeda will combine, and stars will mostly pass each other safely. This company called Cosmic Iris takes photos of your eye's iris and prints them in high definition. You can choose a portrait of your own eye or that of all your family members. In this video, you can see how, apparently, a bird helps a hedgehog cross a highway so it isn't run over by a car. It seems the bird pecks at the small mammal to force it to move forward. During the 15th century, the city of Potosi in Bolivia became one of the richest cities in the world, thanks to its vast silver mines. Potosi's silver was essential to the economy of the Spanish Empire, and was minted into coins that circulated throughout Europe and Asia. However, overexploitation of the mines and a lack of economic diversification led to an eventual decline of the city. Camels can swim, although not all do equally well. However, there is a specific breed known as the Karai camels that stands out for its swimming ability. These camels, found in the Kutch district of Gujarat, India, can swim up to 3 kilometers in search of mangroves to feed on. In the 1950s, in Manchester and other industrial cities in Great Britain, there was a profession called knocker-up. These people were hired to wake up workers by knocking on their windows at a specific time using long sticks or poles to reach upper-story windows. This method was used before electric alarm clocks became common. James O'Donoghue, a former NASA collaborator, created an animation that shows what Earth would look like if the oceans disappeared. The absence of water would allow 70% of the planet's surface, which is currently submerged, to surface. Even hidden mountain ranges and canyons would become visible. Presidents have the authority to declassify secret documents to promote transparency or protect national interests. It is comparable to playing history detectives, revealing hidden secrets to the public. They can do so at strategic moments, such as when the information no longer poses a current threat, or when the public needs to be informed about important decisions. The pink grasshopper is a color variant of the common grasshopper caused by a genetic mutation called erythrism. This pink coloration is rare and makes grasshoppers more visible to predators, which gives them a disadvantage in nature. Only 1 in 500 grasshoppers are born with this condition, making them very difficult to find. In some places around the world, during specific dates, the Uber transportation service offers the option of traveling aboard a helicopter, Uber Chopper. Although it is a bit more expensive than traditional transportation services, the elephant beetle is a remarkable insect known for its impressive horn. This black beetle is covered by a layer of microscopic hairs that give it a yellowish appearance. The males have enormous horns similar to an elephant's trunk, which they use to compete with other males of their species for food and the opportunity to reproduce with females. Water in space behaves differently due to microgravity. Surface tension and capillary effects are harnessed to move fluids more efficiently. The bee hummingbird, also known as the zunzunchito, is considered the smallest bird in the world. Its weight varies between 1.6 and 2 grams. This tiny bird is native to Cuba and is found mainly on the Isle of Youth and in some areas of the main island. Atlanterhavsvegan, the road that cuts across the Atlantic. This route in Norway defies the Scandinavian climate, connecting the island of Averøy with the mainland via 8 impressive bridges over open sea. It is considered one of the most dangerous roads in the world for good reason. The proboscis monkey is known for its large, bulbous nose, which is more prominent in adult males. Although many consider it one of the ugliest animals in the world, females often prefer males with larger noses. Although Earth is the only known planet to harbor life, Titan and Ganymede, moons of Jupiter and Saturn respectively, have more water than Earth. However, this water is found under oceans of methane, ammonia, and thick layers of ice. In Denmark, there is a Museum of Happiness. It is located in Copenhagen and was inaugurated by the country's Happiness Research Institute. This museum is dedicated to improving the well-being and quality of life of Danes through the development of strategies. Its objective is to share data on the factors that are genuinely important for feeling good. Bees breathe through holes called spiracles located on the sides of their bodies. These spiracles allow for gas exchange, enabling them to work inside the honeycomb for long periods of time. Considered the coldest activity in the world, the polar plunge is an event held in winter in which participants immerse themselves in cold water, often for charitable purposes. This event is held in various parts of the world, such as the United States, Canada, the Netherlands, and New Zealand, but the most popular are those in Antarctica and the Arctic, where the water temperature can drop below 2 degrees Celsius. Borneo Island is the third largest island in the world and is divided among 3 countries: Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei. Indonesia controls approximately 73% of the island, while Malaysia and Brunei share the rest. There are stainless steel soaps that, when combined with water, can neutralize strong odors like garlic and fish. But you can get the same result by rubbing your hands with a spoon. However, they do not clean like real soap. They only serve to eliminate odor. Learnability is a key skill in the digital age and refers to the ability to acquire and apply new knowledge quickly and effectively. In addition to being a technical skill, it involves curiosity, resilience, and the ability to unlearn outdated concepts to adopt innovative approaches. This skill is essential in a constantly changing work environment, as continuous learning ensures professional relevance and competitiveness. Predicted by Einstein in his theory of general relativity, gravitational waves are ripples in the fabric of spacetime caused by catastrophic events such as the collision of black holes. Their detection in 2015 opened a new era in astronomy. The introductory theme of The X-Files was composed by Mark Snow. According to an anecdote, Snow composed the music by accident while leaning his elbow on his synthesizer keyboard with the echo effect on. The producers liked it so much that they decided to adopt it for the series. The first message sent over the internet was in 1969 and consisted of the letters LO. It was supposed to send the word login, but the computer crashed after the first 2 letters. At that time, the internet was nothing like what we know now, but the foundations were already being laid. UY Scuti is the largest star we have discovered so far. It is so immense that if it were in the place of our Sun, its surface would reach the orbit of Saturn. The femur, located in the thigh, is the longest and strongest bone in the human body. It provides structural support and enables locomotion by connecting the hip to the knee. Lungfish can stay out of water for up to several months. This is because, in addition to gills, they possess lung-like organs with which they can breathe air. This helps them survive in rivers where water levels vary. This large hole is the Cima de San Pedro, a curious geological formation found in Aragon, Spain. It has a diameter of about 100 meters and an impressive depth of 108 meters. At the bottom, a microclimate has given rise to unique biodiversity, and despite being in the middle of an arid and inhospitable environment, the Cima de San Pedro is home to over 20 animal species. This is PillCam, a tiny pill-shaped endoscopic camera that doctors use to take pictures of the patient's digestive tract. Once swallowed, it takes up to 2 pictures per second and even has its own LED light. This thief painted his face green so he wouldn't be easily recognized. The subject was a Russian criminal who believed he could persuade the authorities by using this color to hide his identity. After committing the assault, his victims described him as a green guy, and in less than an hour, the local police system was alarmed. It was very easy to capture this criminal because despite wanting to cover his face, he actually managed to be very easy to recognize in the crowd, which shows that camouflage tactics do not always work. Unlike most animals whose heart is located in their chest, a shrimp's heart is located in the upper part of its body, near its head. This organ pumps blood throughout the shrimp's body and is essential for its biological function. In October of each year, a race of very peculiar boats takes place on Tualatin Lake. Navigators compete in giant pumpkins. Princess Juliana International Airport, located on the island of St. Martin in the Caribbean, is famous for a unique and exciting feature. Its runway is very close to the beach, allowing visitors to experience up close the thrilling moment when planes fly overhead. This Canadian artist creates stunning works of art on wood. Over the years, he has completed over 400 wood-burning commissions and has shipped his art all over the world. This is Hero, a Cuban chick that was born with 4 legs. The back legs lack mobility and make the animal a bit slower and clumsier. This anomaly is called polymelia and is relatively common. Platypus babies are among the few animals that, in addition to hatching from an egg, feed from their mother during the first months of their lives. The eggs take 10 days to incubate externally, after 28 days inside the mother. That was what motivated the artist Vladimir Matić to make this beautiful adaptation of a newborn platypus. This is how Macintosh personal computers were transported in 1984. Los Caracoles is the impressive route of the Andes Mountains that has 29 curves. This fascinating road offers spectacular views and has become a popular destination for nature and adventure lovers, attracting tourists from all over the world. The Honda Super Cub is the best-selling motorcycle in the history of motorcycling. Since its debut in 1958, over 100 million units have been sold worldwide. This small Playmobil boat traveled thousands of kilometers at sea for several months. The toy belongs to 2 Scottish brothers under 10 years old. To track the pirate ship's journey, they placed a GPS device on it just before it included a message asking anyone who found it to return it to the sea to continue its journey. Moths and other insects are not actually attracted to light, but try to use it as a reference for orientation. A new study has concluded that when trying to orient themselves towards light, insects fail and get trapped circling around it. What happens is that they turn their upper body towards the light to determine the up direction. But artificial lights cause them to fly in circles around the light source, resulting in erratic behavior from which they do not know how to escape. Located in the Chihuahuan Desert, the Zone of Silence is a region where radio signals and other types of communication are said to not work properly. Some attribute this phenomenon to the high concentration of minerals in the area, while others believe it has more mysterious origins. Kiribati, a small archipelago in the Central Pacific, is the only country that has territory in all 4 hemispheres: north, south, east, and west. This is due to its unique distribution of islands that extend across the international dateline in both the northern and southern hemispheres and in the eastern and western hemispheres. This special geographical location makes Kiribati a unique place in terms of the interaction of the Earth's hemispheres. The longest land border of France outside of Europe is located in Brazil, along French Guiana. This border measures 673 kilometers. Vincent Bal is a true master of shadow art. This Belgian artist creates incredible works of art using shadows cast by everyday objects. Here are some of his wonderful creations to admire. This person is considered the best ham slicer in the world and earns a lot of money doing it. He is Lorenzo Sanchidrian, a Spaniard who has been slicing Iberian hams for over 30 years. His fee is about $4,000 for slicing 1 ham leg. He has performed for celebrities and is invited to important events to showcase his particular skill in slicing ham. What you see on screen is not a common space station. It is the first luxury hotel in space, the Von Braun Station. Its capacity will be 400 tourists, and it will have everything a 5-star hotel has: rooms, restaurants, cinemas, and much more, all in near-zero gravity. It is planned to be inaugurated in the year 2027, and its price is yet to be announced. The floating mountains in the movie Avatar were inspired by a real place on our planet, the Zhangjiajie National Forest Park in China. In fact, one of the most emblematic rock formations in the park, known as the Southern Sky Column, so closely resembles the mountains in the movie that it was renamed Avatar Hallelujah Mountain in honor of the film. This strategy undoubtedly attracted many more tourists to the area, a tactic that proved to be a great success. In the United States, when school buses stop to pick up or drop off children, all nearby vehicles must stop, both those coming in the same direction and those coming from the opposite direction. You can only continue driving once the bus resumes its journey. Failure to comply with this rule can result in a fine of up to $1,000 or even several days in prison. The small craft beer brand Saltwater Brewery and the advertising agency We Believers have created an alternative to environmentally destructive plastic rings, replacing them with 100% biodegradable wheat and barley byproduct rings. Instead of harming marine animals, these edible rings feed them. This company hopes that large brewers and industry leaders will follow their example to save marine life. The first speeding ticket in history was issued on January 28, 1896, in the United Kingdom, when a car was stopped by police for exceeding the maximum allowed speed of 3.2 kilometers per hour. The driver, Walter Arnold, was fined £4.7, marking the beginning of modern traffic penalties. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe so you don't miss more interesting content. Leave your comments and click on any of these videos. See you next time.